So now it's time to talk about pre-production for creating a feature film with no money. You know, and when we talk about pre-production, a lot of that is getting into the producing or the role of the producer. A lot of people aren't quite sure what a producer does or where those responsibilities lie. A lot of people know more and think about more of the director and the actors or maybe a cinematographer. And the movie For Your Consideration has a funny moment where a producer of a feature film is asking, what does a producer do? And she can't even quite answer it. She says, well, a producer buys snacks. And that's true. There are producers who are responsible for the finances and providing the money. And you know, when you watch a movie, especially an indie film, you might see the associate producer credit has name after name after name. You're like, what in the world does this associate producer do? And sometimes that associate producer role could be somebody who has worked really, really hard to handle logistics and pull it all together, but then sometimes it might even be just a favor that you need a location or a prop for your film and you can't quite get it, or you're not sure how to get it, or how to get a certain person involved. And so an associate producer might even be just simply the person who made the connection or called in a favor for you, and then they get a credit. But really there are three categories or three kind of buckets for the responsibilities of the producer. There is the creative producer, the financial producer, and the logistical producer. So a lot of times you might have several people that are all producers, and each one is really honed in or focused on one of those particular areas. The financial producer obviously is the producer who's finding the funds to get the movie made, that's going to provide the budget. They're in charge of handling the financing. They and or a team of folks are doing that. The creative producers are weighing in on the script, on the subject, on the development of the film, some of the creative nuances. Maybe they are a creative sounding board for the writer or the director, and they're kind of pulling those pieces together and having a heavy influence on the creative aspects. Then there's the logistical producer that's handling the nuts and bolts of how this thing is going to get made, weighing heavily in on the scheduling, on the budget, hiring the crew, putting all of those pieces together. And obviously sometimes they overlap, and for the feature film that you're going to be making with no money, you're going to have to wear all three of those hats or have a partner close to you where the two of you are going to overlap with those three areas of finances and creativity and logistics. And at the end of the day, it's the responsibility of the producer to make sure that everything is on time, it's on budget, and no one gets hurt. And that third one really is important and a key responsibility. Like I mentioned when we were talking about writing and development, that key area, that responsibility of making sure no one is being injured is your responsibility. Of course, it's the responsibility of the whole crew, but it comes down to you to making choices to make sure everybody is safe. And again, I know this will be a passion project. It's very important to you, but please don't sacrifice people for the passion. They can all work together, and you can ask your crew and your peers and people that are invested in your project how to solve those creative problems that may arise when you have something that you want to accomplish that also may endanger folks. They can help you come up with a creative solution that's safe for everyone. So that might sound like a lot, and it is, but it's also very exciting to be steering the ship and to have your thumbprints on it and to be able to guide something like this. And you know, that's why at the end of the day, when the Oscars recognize Best Picture, that trophy goes to the producer, because the producer is responsible for bringing it all together and making it happen.